It's 5 a.m. the day I'm supposed to apply for. I'm probably gonna wind up applying for temporary protective status. It seems really complicated, and I'm not sure how it's all gonna go down because, wow, look at my hair. It looks interesting. So, I just woke up. The camera on my iPad. This is my iPad's camera. I don't know if this is. Hold on a second. Well, it would take a lot of work to pull it out. There's probably just, I could probably clean that. But anyway, you're just gonna have to deal with it. My hair looks like a video game character's hair or something. So what I was gonna do was, I have this Word document that I've been working on a list that I just want to read. I have a whole paragraph here of what the incident that I got arrested for, and I'm not gonna read that, I don't think, or should I? I'll go over the numbered things. Number 1, have not had law enforcement protection for years. I have not had that available to me, even though most Americans do, and it's kind of iffy on a lot of people, but I'm one of the people that has not had law enforcement protection for years. People commit crimes against me on a near okay, so number 2, people commit crimes against me on a near daily basis to at least a weekly basis for the last few years. There are months that it was probably 25 days a month being stolen from or attempted. I have no idea how many assaults that I have gone through, because I don't really count assaults to call the police on somebody if they touch me. Even if the touching is something that I really don't want. It's usually, yeah, I pretty much call. Assaults are when people hit you, right? Okay, so anyway, let's read number 2 again. Let's just start over on that one. People commit crimes against me on a near daily basis to at least a weekly basis for a few years. There are months that it was probably 25 days in a month being stolen from or attempted. Despite the fact that I don't allow criminals or drug users to hang around me, and I don't do things like going to homeless shelters and things like that. Number 3, lawyers are lying to me from the beginning, right from the first day. They've been lying to me the whole entire time that I'm dealing with in my case. Number 4, lawyers are working with prosecutor instead of doing anything court related, like putting up a defense or anything lawyers are usually required to or should do. I had looked up earlier, like, what lawyers are actually supposed to be doing, and they're actually supposed to be doing a lot more than I even realized. In America, like, as far as your rights are concerned, and these lawyers that I'm dealing with are very, very far from hitting any marks as far as what my rights are to have a lawyer. Very, very far. They actually, and when I was dealing with my other arrest where I had stood up for myself that got sealed later, it was the same thing. It was actually worse than, it was a lot worse than, like, the, right now, I'm pretty firm with them. Like, you are not allowed to tell me I'm a schizophrenic. You are not allowed to tell me I'm a schizophrenic. Period. Right? The first time I was dealing with them, which was the public defenders, they were all up on that shit. So, totally working against me. Number 5, I don't commit crime, but am constantly treated like I'm a criminal by the courts. I did remember one time they even tried to pin me in where they're like, oh, you assaulted somebody, so you're a criminal. And I'm like, that's not the same thing as a criminal. You know? I mean, I guess these people aren't very big into being adults in these courts. But yeah, like, just because you got arrested for assaulting somebody without leaving a mark, like, just, minor, really minor, where you shouldn't have gotten arrested, honestly, because there are ways of acting like adults without arresting people. Yeah, anyway, they keep on treating me as though I'm a criminal now, that I don't get a choice. Like, I might as well go rob a bank, right? Because now that I've gone like this to somebody, I'm a criminal now, right? So, yeah. And this is before I've been convicted, of course. Like, there's a lot of people that argue that you don't even have a criminal record until you're convicted. Like, there's people that even argue that. So, I say that if you're going out and intentionally committing crime, and it's not like you're getting in a fight with somebody, but you're actually going out and intentionally committing crime, then you're a criminal, and it doesn't matter if you have a arrest record or not. But anyway, back to my list, because I really should be just sticking to my list. What did I was number 4. This is number 5. Oh, no, I just did number 5. Number 6, jail staff that said that I was automatically guilty and would receive no court process, that there are no court processes, that I don't get to plead my case in court. They literally told me that when I went to jail. And then that I would be back there later for them to finish harming me, basically. While they were making me go unconscious somehow. They actually said that I wouldn't receive a court process or be innocent until proven guilty. They literally had that come out of their mouth when I was arguing with them about it. And they insinuated that they would kill or harm me when I came back. Probably more like harm. Number 7, police were lying during the arrest. They also were deliberately doing stuff with their body cam that was really sketchy. Pushing the buttons, stuff like that. They also kept on trying over and over and over again to get different reactions out of me, asking me my name over and over and over again, and saying weird things over and over and over again. Number 8, law enforcement were very deliberately hiding it that I had my phone stolen and wouldn't do anything about people in my online accounts for months, which I'm sure they'll argue that they don't have any jurisdiction, blah, blah, blah. But, like, I was trying to get help, right? And I did try to go to IC3 and all that kind of stuff as well. Number 9, people talking gibberish to where I can't understand what they're saying through court. This also includes phone calls with lawyers, phone calls with people acting like they're supposed to do something with court, but I can't even freaking tell who they are. Gibberish also has come out of people that have some weird connection with the court because they're connected with the stuff with the recovery people. 10, people knocking me out has happened way too many times, so people working with the prosecutor police can get into phones, laptops, etc. Number 11, I go unconscious and have a lot of problems staying alert, and myself, normal, able-bodied, like I was before I started getting sick, and have repeatedly been scared lately that if they don't stop drugging me, hitting my head or neck, or making me go unconscious any other way, whatever it is that they've been doing, because it's been, different situations, that I may suffer serious damage, and I don't want to go full retard or have permanent injury or death. I'm already pissed about my current condition, super fucking pissed, and I don't take being worthless lightly. It's a big part of why I feel like I can no longer allow the court, police, thieves, criminals to be out of hand and so dangerous to me. Number 12, I've attempted to report to FBI in person, online, and by phone several times each, but in person only once. And there appears to be no process in which is available for me to prosecute or prevent more from happening in an emergent time period. Number 13, I've gone to Attorney General office, the Washington State Bar. No response unless it's been intercepted. The Attorney General office has not had time to respond. It's only been a few days. The Attorney General office doesn't appear to have something that's going to stop people from knocking me out, unless it's something to push the police to do their job. But it doesn't look like they have an arm to push the police to do their job necessarily, is kind of what I'm hearing. But I was told to go to the Attorney General office by the FBI, so I went to the Attorney General office. It sounds like I'm supposed to file a consumer complaint or something like that. Washington State Bar, as far as the prosecutors and all that kind of stuff, I haven't heard back. Actually, I have heard back. I've talked to them a couple times, but I haven't heard back officially. And I'll get into that in a minute. No response unless it's been intercepted, and I believe that it's highly likely that some of these people have been intercepted because my emails have been overtaken. I do think that IC3 and Washington State Bar were probably intercepted by people in my accounts. There's also been phone calls where I was unable to have conversation because of barely being conscious, not being able to keep myself conscious, or having some sort of brain processing issue. I just don't know what else to call it. When you can't even hear what people are saying because either barely conscious or, you haven't slept for more than an hour. And I don't know who they were. Several phone calls sounded like a different language. Lots of phone calls have sounded like people are talking a different language. Number 14. Early on, like spring and a few weeks ago, Washington State Bar over the phone, without really knowing very much of my case, because they wouldn't listen to it, mostly, said they wouldn't investigate anyone for anything because that stuff just doesn't happen. We have really honest lawyers in Washington State, and we're a really good Democrat state. Good stuff, right? Because the lawyers wouldn't be Republican. I don't know. Whatever. So just the same old line with everybody. Everything's perfect. It must be you. There must be something wrong with your head. Number 15. I recognized the guy the librarian helped a week or so ago get away with stealing my Google Pixel phone. Then he turned it into Lost and Found. After he did something with it, he was the one sitting outside out front, by the steps, and got onto the laptop after that. He was present at the Bellingham airport when I went to Las Vegas. I went there a few days, I believe this winter, spring. I'm not even exactly sure what months that was. I want to say it might have been February. I was knocked out, horribly unconscious on that plane. Was unconscious for pretty much the whole ride. And I'm just gonna read this. So I was knocked out, horribly unconscious on that plane, and then told I was schizophrenic, and it didn't happen. It was really bad. Bad is capitalized. And affected me so horribly that I was afraid they'd kill me if I tried to take the plane back. Either they'd kill me or I would die because there's something wrong with my heart or my head or something like that. I almost was wondering if I had a stroke because I was looking stuff up. But it really was super obvious that somebody beat me over the head. So, I believe they gave me a concussion that time because it was a lot worse than normal, when I've been knocked out. And, So no one would investigate or help me. People telling me I'm mentally ill and then won't help me happens consistently in Bellingham, in Whatcom County area, and commonly in other towns like Port Townsend, where they all steal from me there too. Well, not the whole community, but I get stolen from all the time there too. I have PTSD and social anxiety, not schizophrenia, and is called out to allow all people to commit crime against me. Number 6, and I thought I put it in here. What? Did I not actually write that? I probably, I need to put this in here. The whole Vegas trip. I was affected I always spell affected wrong. I don't know if it's supposed to be A or E or what. The whole Vegas trip, I was affected by the head injury, and extremely fearful for my life. And completely caught off guard. By the experience, but also very fearful that something horrible could happen to me if I tried to travel back home. Okay, so yeah, like I could get into all kinds of details about how I was affected the whole time, but like this is supposed to be like just a very streamlined list. Number 16, this is kind of out of the sort of lineup of things that I have because this happened a long time ago. But I had written one time someone tried to ram his truck and drive it up a U-Haul ramp where I was sleeping in a sleeping bag to kill me for being on disability benefits because I don't work and he's a taxpayer. The only reason why I didn't die that night is because his truck was too heavy for the ramp and it broke. His wheel went through it and it stopped him like a foot or two. I think it was actually like, I think it was like 3 feet for me. If I remember correctly, it was like, because I was trying to write reports, but I wasn't allowed to write reports. So, like 3 feet from me, I was told I was crazy and it didn't happen, even though his truck caused extensive damage. You know, that damage existed, but how did it get there? That's number 16. I feel like I was writing more than that, but I guess that's all I've written so far. I don't know if that covers enough. What do you guys think? Does that cover enough to... I mean, I'm sure I'm leaving out a lot of points out of here. As far as illustrating that I need protection or that I'm fleeing. But basically, I'm just illustrating that there's shit happening to me all the time and that there's nothing to do about it. Basically. I didn't even get into, like, I don't even have a number on here. I don't even have anything on here about them being in my accounts and stealing my phone, which I absolutely have to do. Like, it's kind of barely mentioned in here, but I have to actually, I need to make a number for that specifically says stuff about them being in my accounts and tampering with evidence, erasing, you know, it's probably over 100 gigs worth of stuff that they've erased now. if I had to add it up, sorry, like if I had to add up a whole bunch of stuff on different accounts and stuff like that, they've been going into my accounts, been getting into my phone, and all that shit. But the idea is that I'm not only going through this as an American citizen, because a lot of homeless people go through a lot, right? We shouldn't have to go through this much stuff. But that also I don't have I don't have any rights, right? Anytime my rights have been violated, anytime I can think of that I've tried to assert my rights or call police on my rights being violated or try to do something about my rights being violated, even housing rights, job rights, anything and everything in the last 10 to 20 years, when I've noticed that it's an actual rights violation, every time I have not been able to access anything that asserts my rights. That's another thing that I really need to write down, and I don't know how to exactly illustrate that, but basically all these numbers are supposed to be illustrating that. I have people committing crimes against me all the time, people violating my rights all the time, people doing things to me all the time, and there is absolutely no way to get people in trouble, hold people accountable, get me help to make it not happen anymore, or there's just nothing, from local all the way up to the top. There's nothing. And we're supposed to have rights. We are supposed to have rights. I've never had them. That's why a lot of times that I've had to argue with people from like Mexico or whatever that get online on like Facebook and stuff, and they sit there and are like, oh, white people have all these rights. Like, not really. Or maybe it's I'm white, but I'm also on SSI. So I don't even have the right. I have not even been able to have the right to not be called schizophrenic when I don't have schizophrenia. I haven't even been able to stop people from doing that. Right? It's yeah. I mean, and you might be like, oh, you can't run from the country just because you're bullied. This has become way more than bullying. The police, I believe that the police and the courts and all them have really advertised it, that everybody can commit crime against me. And so even if I leave this area of the country, and I don't want to leave Western Washington because I don't feel like I can live healthy away from this area. Like, I could probably live healthy in lower BC. I might even be able to, well, Alaska would be iffy because it's probably, like, I'd probably die up there. To be honest, I'd probably die up there. With the way my body is right now, I wouldn't be able to live off grid up there or anything. Like, even if I got a piece of property from somebody, I wouldn't be able to do it alone. I mean, I have a hard enough time camping in state parks right now with the way my body is getting through, 8 degrees below zero or whatever, or even 10 degrees above zero. But yeah. Anyway, I could like lower BC. I think I could feel super comfortable around, like, because the environment, like, even though there's a national border right here, I feel like half of it is, like, more than half of it. Let me think about this. Probably about half and half. Like this. Western Washington is right here. And then, like, about that size of lower BC, I would probably be, like, right at home. Right at home. I have no idea what Canada's doing politically right now, but as far as environment goes, like the actual, the sea, the animals, all that kind of stuff, I would be completely right at home. And so that's one thing about Canada, that I feel like I could absolutely move to, because I feel like it's like it's almost like there shouldn't be a national border right there, because you've got the U.S., right? And literally, like, the only place I think I'd be comfortable in the U.S. is Western Washington. Like, I'm not even comfortable in Oregon. I don't know how to explain that to people, but even being on the coast of Oregon, I'm not I'm completely out of place, and I don't do well mentally. I only do mentally well in Western Washington, but people need to stop doing shit to me, right? It's the people that are the problem, not this piece of earth, right? And even though I haven't been up to Lake Victoria and all that kind of stuff, I can tell. Like, I can see the islands, I can see them with my eyes. When I'm standing on San Juan Island and looking across to, which I believe that's Vancouver Island, right? When you're like around Smallpox Bay area and you're looking right over, like, that looks like home. It's Canada, but it looks like home, to me. So yeah. It's just the way I am, I guess, and it's probably because I've lived my whole life not associating myself with people for the most part. And not having anything to do with any people. Yeah. So, but this is my list so far. And, yeah, I'm gonna end this because it's 33 minutes again. It took me 33 minutes to go through this. Dude, I just can't. I can't make any short videos. I like, even when I'm trying really hard to streamline this shit to make it very easy to read, and it leaves out all of the details. Okay, I'm gonna end this video, I guess. But yeah, I need to put in here something about the severity of when they stole a phone and have been in my accounts, and have been doing severe damage. And my fear of what they could be doing, and then, like, I don't really know how to put in anything about, like, the I keep really being like really scared that they're taking video and like literally editing it and making it look like I'm like a super hardened criminal and taking all my, because I had like 100 gigs of videos on my iCloud alone, and they've been taking videos out of Microsoft. They've been erasing them all out of Microsoft. They've been erasing them out of iCloud. They've been, I'm sure, copying them out of iCloud, um, and stuff like that. So I think that there's a very good chance that they're like editing my videos as well as trying to sell my photography, and or they might be, even though I haven't found it yet, they might be framing me to get into prison for a couple of years so that they can immediately start selling my stuff. That's actually probably a very good chance of what they're doing. And it would make it, they could make that kind of money out of my stuff, because my stuff, I mean, with the way art is, like, they could make $1 million off my stuff. They just have to have the right marketing and the right people to make it happen, right? So that would be a reason why whole big groups of people might want to, put me away in prison for being a good person. That's just one reason. The other reason is, like, a lot of these people might actually have a thing against me losing my kid because they don't, their brains don't work very well, and they don't see that good people have things happen, and then even the kid loss thing has to do with disability benefits, because the type of people that would care about that kind of stuff are people that, and it's weird because a lot of them are seniors and a lot of them have disability benefits themselves, but then they like are like horribly insane as far as just, going after people that are on disability benefits. Most of this stuff, I think a lot of it is happening because the police have given people go-aheads. A ton of it is happening because of that. And then some of it's probably happening because I'm disabled and ugly, and because I'm disabled, I'm homeless, because that's why I'm homeless. It's because nobody allows me to work or earn money. So, but as far as like seeking asylum goes, that's where it gets kind of tricky, because I have all of these elements that I'm pretty damn sure would make me eligible for asylum in the United States, if not Canada and other countries. Seeking asylum in the United States is a lot easier. Apparently is a shit ton of easier than a lot of other countries. And my asylum, if I had made asylum paperwork to come into the United States with all the stuff that I've been suffering from in the United States, I would be accepted as seeking asylum for sure. I could easily make this into something that I was eligible for asylum in the United States. Canada works a little bit differently, it sounds like. So, yeah, I'm gonna end this because it's at like 40 minutes.